So much for tuning in to this episode of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice, the Princess of Phoenix. We're here at radiophoenix.org where we're bringing Phoenix to the world and the world to Phoenix. Today we have Jermaine Jordan in the studio. He is the founder of the Villament nonprofit organization. It takes a village to mentor a child. Thanks for coming, Jermaine.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's a joy to be here. Good to see you.
Thank you. Jermaine's doing so many great things in the community with the youth, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But right now, we're going to sip a little tea. And the tea that we have today is the influence that social media has on the youth. You know, I feel like I can't even talk to teenagers these days because they're glued to their phone, Snapchatting, YouTubing, Facebooking, their friends. It's like, do we have any more, like, face-to-face interaction?
Right.
Is it all over the phone? Like, I'm going to text you from right here, Jermaine.
Exactly. We rather text each other, but we're sitting in the same room. We laugh about it, but it is definitely a phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
I'm an 80s baby.
Yeah.
And, you know, growing up, we didn't have beepers yet, right?
Right.
So everything we had to do is outside, right? We're always outside, always engaging,
Yes.
you know, with the community, and it's changed a lot. So we definitely need to get back to the old ways, but we do have to embrace some of the new technologies of the world because it's coming. You know, the times are coming where we're not going to have servers anymore, you know, and you know, when you go to McDonald's or when you go to Walmart, people aren't going to be cashiers counting money. So the future is coming, technology is coming, and I think social media is getting the youth ready for that. But they need to understand that it's going to happen. So they want to be prepared for the future. I think I heard a statistic that said 60% of the jobs in 20 years from now are not even created yet. They're not even thought of. That's how fast technology is taking over.
Wow.
And we definitely want to prepare the youth and being ready for that. So not just a fun thing on social media where we're talking to our friends and socializing, but just understanding how the apps work, right? How to engineer those apps and engineer those thoughts and processes for the future. Because these, you know, engineering products and programs are what they're gonna run the world. You know, and
that's sad. It feels like the Jetsons to me.
It does.
I'm
right?
an 80s baby too, and I mean, I used to watch those cartoons and think like, wow, microwave, you know, flying cars or like monorails, all these things that are in existence today, right now.
Right. What about FaceTime, right?
Right.
You know, how about the phone on your watch?
Oh gosh.
You know, that was just like unbelievable stuff when we were 10 years old.
It is.
And now it's here.
It's a reality, and we're already almost in 2020. That seems unimaginable also. I feel like Back to the Future.
Right, and I do see the problem in the community. I'm out in the community a lot, and I'm engaging students and kids, trying to strike up a conversation with them. And if you're not like on social media, it's very hard to get their attention. You know, it's a strong challenge. So us, our older population, I guess that fits us. I'm approaching 40. So I guess I'm an old geezer compared to what these kids are. I mean, we don't have that social media connection.
Right.
The kids are gonna kind of look at us like we're strange, right? So we do have to catch up in order to be able to reach them because they're not gonna understand what we're trying to show them and teach them unless we do have a strong grip on what that digital media and all of that is. So
I think that's really a good point and a good way to look at it because I feel like there's so much wisdom and knowledge that we do have to pass down to the next generation. But you know, we can miss the opportunity if we're not able to maybe try to catch up to with what they're using and what's relevant to them at this time. So I'm with that, you know, just kind of adjusting the approach so that we can be effective.
Exactly. And we do want to teach them the social skills, how to interview face-to-face. But there are companies right now that do their interviews on like a Snapchat or a Skype, you know, protocol. But it's hard to imagine, but it is, you know, something that the generations in the future are going to be doing full time. But definitely that face-to-face contact, you know, just being able to have a conversation without the phone is important. But in order to get in front of the student, the young leaders, to be able to talk to them on that level, you're probably going to have to start off with the social media and maybe wean them off of it
Right.
to get to the social interaction without the, you know, the media or the technology.
Sure. Yeah, I completely see where you're coming from on that. And this is the spirituality segment of Let's Talk Life. And what I really want to discuss today is the youth. You know, we're all getting older. The next generation is going to be the future leaders of tomorrow. So we do need to instill all the values and wisdom that we have in them now so that they can carry it into the future for us. You know, and I think that it's very important for young people to start to realize what their purpose and their passion is at a young age so that it can be cultivated and developed over time, so that by the time they do graduate from high school, they're not lost, they're not just running to McDonald's to figure out how to pay their bills. You know, they really have a vision and a purpose for their life that they've been working on, you know, throughout their youth, to really set them up for success. And I know that your organization, Villament, really focuses on mentorship and life skills and really, you know, helping a child develop themselves. But what do you think about just, you know, the youth really learning what their purpose and passion is?
Yeah, from a spirituality standpoint, you know, we all have that inner calling, you know, that burning desire to be something or to be somebody special. You know, we all walk around with that. And I think things in life can happen that can distract you from that and maybe destroy your entire dreams and vision. So, you know, it could be trauma or it could just be life circumstances. Sometimes you just get busy paying bills, right? And I think adults have that similar struggle. So we can definitely relate to some of the youth that are trying to figure out, hey, what is my purpose? You know, how do I figure out my passion? And at Villament, we definitely sit down and try to work with the kids and, you know, develop some of those strategies to bring that out in them, right? Because I strongly believe we're all born with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Kids at 5 years old are explaining to their parents what they want to be when they grow up. Mm-hmm. And how does that image occur? Sometimes it's just you're born with it. Sometimes you see somebody out there in the community, or I see that firefighter, he looks strong, or she looks ambitious. I want to be like that. And I think that's important. I think you need to definitely expose your children to leaders in the community. So we got to seek out these leaders. We got to pull them out. Where are the doctors at? You know, we want to see you. We want to show images, right? Show up and let these kids experience that. Mm-hmm. And let them develop their own passions from that.
And I think that's something that's kind of true, because at a young age you might not know exactly what you want to do and how you want to do it. But I do feel like if you instill certain values like, you know, good ethics, leadership qualities, you know, working hard, having integrity, right. You know, just these different things that people can be exposed to, no matter what direction you choose to take, right. When you graduate from high school or whatever, at least these type of things will be ingrained in you.
Correct.
And since we were speaking about social media, I just hope that social media and the lack of interaction isn't taking that away from the youth.
Right, and I think as leaders, we need to be responsible for what is on social media. We need to put the positive images out there that we want the youth to envision. So we need to show them what we want them to think about. And if we put the negative things out there, obviously they're going to conform to what's negative. But if we try to promote positivity as leaders in the community and keep the youth on the right track and motivate them to be inspired to take ownership as the next leaders of the world and of their community, then good things will happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I actually like the point that you made earlier about trying to conform the approach, because I often feel like as older people, we condemn the youth for the way that they do things and how they like to do it, instead of saying, well, show me what that's about so that I can show you what I'm doing and then we can work together.
Sure.
So I would like to encourage all the elders out there to not just disregard the youth and think, right. Oh, they're so consumed with video games and Facebook and Snapchat, but, you know, try to learn about what they're doing and then try to figure out how you guys right. can come to a happy medium.
Let's have a video game tournament. Let's meet them where they're at. You know, let's bring the community together. Let's put 10 TVs and 10 Xboxes and PlayStations in a room. Invite 200 kids out for a video game tournament, then you have their attention and respect. Now anything you talk to them about, they're going to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to talk to them about having a purpose, talk to them about going to college, they're probably going to listen because you did, like you said, meet them halfway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely what we try to incorporate at Villament Charities, is to help the youth figure out what they already love and show them the steps of maybe turning that into a career.
Right.
You love video games? Cool. Guess what? There's a company out there that makes those video games, right? There's EA Sports. You can go work for that organization.
Right.
Let us be the bridge between you and EA Sports and figure out what careers EA Sports is looking for. Maybe they're looking for a, graphic designer, a photographer, some kind of engineer, right? There's schools out there that promote those software engineering programs that can teach the video game, engineer how to make them. So it's kind of what it's all
Wow,
about.
that was an amazing, brilliant idea, Jermaine.
Yeah.
And I know that you're full of a lot of them. So in the next segment, we're going to get into Villament and what this organization is doing for the community and how they're helping the youth. Thanks you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice. We'll be back after this next song. Thanks. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice show. That was a great song you guys just heard by Jules Basquiat called Love, Life, and Prosperity. Did you like that song, Jermaine?
It was amazing.
I know, I love that song. Shout out to Jules Basquiat. And so, right now we're here with Jermaine Jordan of Villament organization. It takes a village to mentor a child. And they're doing some wonderful things in the community for the youth here in Arizona. And we're just going to first kind of get into, Jermaine, like what inspired you to create Villament? Kind of just let us know what you guys' mission is. And
Okay, yeah, definitely. I think what inspired me, several different things. I was a teacher in, South Phoenix for about 8 years. And I taught trig, algebra, calculus, and geometry. And to high school students, I was really trying to figure out how to get them motivated to love math and go on and do great things in math. So that was one of the things, just trying to be creative. And I found a lot of the time that I spent with them was talking to them about real life application, right? So how to budget your budget, how to, go out there, be independent, pay your bills, creating those, real life experiments, going out, finding apartments like online, figuring out what that costs. What is it going to cost to live, and then adding that up, and then comparing that to a job that you may have, right? So like a high school graduate might make $12 an hour, right? Depending on what career they go in, right? And then maybe if you have an associate degree, you might move to $20 an hour. Then maybe a bachelor's degree could take you to 25, master's degree might take you to 30, etc., and so on and so forth. So they got a chance to really expound upon their ideas and thoughts of how they're going to make an earning and a living. And it really opened up a lot of different things, taking them to places like salary.com where they can type in, what does a nurse make in Phoenix versus a nurse make in, LA? Or what does a teacher make, blah, blah, blah. And they can look at those different zip codes and say, okay, well, I want to be this, so here's what I got to do to get there, okay, based on what I want to have, right? Do I want to take the bus everywhere I go, or do I want to buy a Honda Civic? Or would I like to buy a Mercedes-Benz, right? Because there's different costs in there, right? Different gas costs, different insurance costs, just looking at the realistic ideals of life.
Right.
And, they really love that. And that's kind of how Villament probably came out of that. It was about 7 years ago. I woke up from a dream, and I had the word Villament in my head, and I had no idea what this word was. And I'm like, why am I dreaming about this? Like 3 a.m., I was in Denver. I was doing some work for Wells Fargo because I'm a banker now, 13 years as a banker. And I was kind of, still involved in the community, showing up at the church, always trying to mentor, right? And I figured out Villament was sent to me in a dream, and it stands for Village Mentor. And so I started writing, right? And I'm a total math brain. I'm not really a writer. I mean, I love to write, but it's not my strong suit. But I just started writing kind of like a press release about how kids need to cultivate their talents, and they need mentors to help them see the way of the future. So that's kind of how it all came about.
I love it. I love it. I know you guys' motto is it takes a village to mentor a child, and it really does. like we were talking about earlier, everybody has a different vision and purpose and passion. And so, you know, it's going to take a group of people from different backgrounds with different experiences to come together to help to train and mentor the youth, because they are our future. I'm also an educator, so I have a strong passion for the youth, and I just think that's so important to incorporate and teach them those life skills that you were explaining, because yeah, we can learn algebra, English, and science, but how are we going to apply this to real life when we've graduated, we're 18, and you're thrown into the real world, and you don't know how to pay your bills, you don't know what it takes to get your own place or to buy a car. So I really love that. So if you could kind of just go over some of the things that you guys do with Villament and the projects you guys are working on.
Yeah, so the idea, kind of like, you know, that we work on, the premise of Villament is basically mentoring the youth in the digital world. So we try to incorporate, you know, media arts. So the kids are learning how to use photography, videography, editing, and photojournalism. Okay, the kids put out a magazine every month. So the magazine, you can check it out online at vmmag.org. Okay, and they're going out there, they're trying to find inspirational people in the community and kind of tell their story. So they'll sit down with somebody who might be an artist and let them artists tell their story through the magazine. Or they'll go out and find other young people, young leaders that are already artists, and they'll show their work through the magazine. So it's a phenomenal program that we're doing, and the kids love it, and it's inspiring them. We also have a mock trial coming up, so kids are learning kind of like the legal system, right? These are high school kids, and we'll work with any kid who wants to do that, but you know, high school young leaders, middle school age leaders that want to make a difference in the community. So we're going to do a mock trial coming up on July 19th out at the Goodyear Courthouse, and they're going to play the role of judge, lawyer, prosecutor, okay, defendant, plaintiff, and they're going to act out like a real scene.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you'll see that if you go to vmmag.org, there'll be a story right up in there that one of the students wrote about to promote it. But check it out. It's fun activities like that. Last month we did Hunger Games, where the students actually went out and did archery, tug of war, and competed in different obstacle courses to reenact the movie Hunger Games and the book Hunger Games. So these are phenomenal students that are on the right path to be successful in life. So we love it.
Well, I just think it's a wonderful thing that you guys are doing over there at Villament, because like you're saying, you're taking the things that the youth are interested in now, and you're utilizing that to help teach them life skills and, you know, how to develop as a person, you know, how to have a good work ethic, how to be professional, all these things that they will need to carry them throughout life. So I just think that's a very innovative approach, and I love what you guys are doing over there at Villament. What are some things that maybe the community can do to help you guys and support your organization?
Well, definitely like us on Facebook at Villament.Foundation. We definitely need the community to be involved, because the young leaders are motivated when people support them. You know, they're just like adults. You know, adults need support in what they're doing, and these young leaders definitely need support. So if people want to get involved and show up, you can always send us an email at contactus@vmmag.org. So vmmag.org. Contact us at vmmag.org. And we'll definitely get you involved in different aspects, because when the kids are putting the magazine together, they're doing photography. So if you're a experienced photographer, you can come down and show them some of the tricks of the trade in photography. Graphic design. You know, the students are doing graphic design services through the magazine, and if anybody needs a logo made or things like that, these students are phenomenal artists, and they can make different logos for companies out there that are in need of that. So that could be a strong way for the community to kind of give back to the youth right there, and just giving them hope, right? Giving them hope that they're doing the right thing, right? Because the adults are paying attention to them, you know, and they have the respect of the adults and the elders in the community.
Yeah, I think, you know, the best way to teach people is hands-on. If they're already out in the field doing what is required in that profession, then they'll really be prepared and ready, you know, when they're going to actually do it in the future. And I just kind of want to go into like maybe some of personal experiences that you've had in your youth where somebody mentored you or somebody was there, you know,
Sure.
to help you get to where you are today. And
Sure. I mean, to be honest with you, the reason why I'm so passionate about doing this is because I never had a mentor. I really never had anybody that I looked up to besides my mom.
yeah,
You know, everybody looks up to their parents, my mom and my dad, you know, always being there for me and, you know, just providing my needs and things like that. But both of my parents were high school graduates. You know, they never went to college. So I didn't really know about college. I just had to figure it out on my own, right? I was lucky enough to be able to play football in college on a scholarship and go on and get my master's degree in finance. And, you know, did some amazing things, but, you know, I think that was just, you know, all by the grace of God, right? Just being able to achieve some of those accomplishments. But the reason why I do this is because I was a outstanding math student. You know, I was one of those kids in high school where I would take a calculus test and finish it in 5 minutes. And I get the smirks and the teacher shaking his head. He was a great teacher, you know, but I think he missed his opportunity in motivating me really to go on and being something special in mathematics. No one ever came to me and said, hey man, you should be an engineer, or hey, you have this great talent. They just basically made me join the math club and tutor other struggling kids in math. That's it.
right.
I didn't really get the fact that I was supposed to go on. You know, I got scholarship offers from Yale and Dartmouth, but I had no idea as a 16, 17-year-old kid
Right.
what really that was about
Sure.
without a mentor. If I
Right.
had that mentor, you know, I probably could have, you know, used that to my advantage
Sure.
instead of having to figure it out on my own. You know, so I think that's part of the reason why I'm so passionate about doing this. And when I find these young, you know, leaders in the community with special talents, it's like, hey, where's the rest of the community? You know, these kids are taking phenomenal photography. Who needs photography? Hire these kids. Let them know that they're doing something special.
Right.
Hire these kids to do your graphic design. You know what I mean? Hire these kids to run your social media. You know, like I said, you and I are, you know, we're approaching that middle age, and we have other
That's
people.
you, Jermaine, not me.
Not you, not you. You stay 25. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know.
That's phenomenal.
Really hard.
Me, you know, I got gray hairs creeping in and everything, but you know, I look around the community and other of my peers, you know, real estate agents, etc. In the community, they need photography. They need these graphic design and social media services to run their business.
Right.
And these students are super good at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you send us that email, we'll hook you up with somebody that'll take care of you, and you'll be doing a good thing by supporting the youth.
Yeah, well, I just think that it's very important for people to give back and
Sure.
to not let their wisdom and experience go to waste, and to
Sure.
reach down and help these students. I mean, that was a great story that you shared about like you having the lack of mentorship in your life. I actually was very fortunate to have a lot of great mentors in my life that helped
Sure.
me get into things and help cultivate my leadership skills and life skills and things of that nature. I probably could have used a little more, but
Sure.
I feel like it was a very significant impact on my life. So
Right.
just coming from both ends of the spectrum, we want to encourage the community to get out here, get in touch with the youth, and help out whatever way you can, because they are our future and they need us.
And it doesn't take a lot of time to do that. If you break it down to just 1 hour a week, right, that's 10 minutes a day, less than 10 minutes a day, spending time, you know, with somebody who's going to be in charge of the world in the future, right? Because we look at politics today, we look at the world, we're not too happy with the way Congress is treating our country right now. So the next generation of people, they're in high school right now.
Yeah.
You know, when you and I are retired, we're going to be counting on them to be making the laws and, you know, doing things justly
Yeah.
in the legal system, you know, and, you know, policing the streets and things like that. So we definitely want to get a hold of them now.
Yes.
And plant those seeds of righteousness and, you know, give them hope and vision for the future today,
For sure.
so that tomorrow we can relax and say, hey, they're going to take care of us
We're
because they
in
know
good
how to do
hands.
it. Exactly.
We're in good hands because we help to train them.
Right.
Look at it that way.
Right.
That was a wonderful way to put that, Jermaine. And
Exactly.
I just like to thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Sure.
And sharing with us what you guys are doing at Villament. So what is a way that people can reach you if they want to get involved?
Yeah, the website is villament.org. I'll spell it for you, VILLAMENT.org. And like I said, the email you can send it is contactus@vmmag.org.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in to this episode of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice here at RadioPhoenix.org, where we're bringing Phoenix to the world and the world to Phoenix. You guys can like my page on Facebook, Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk Life, all one word. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.
See you later. Cool.